There are those who will tell you that it's too hot for coffee. Those are people who do not understand coffee and are not to be trusted. What's going on, guys? Alright, a little something for you today that I've been wanting to work on for a while now, and this has kind of been a long process, but I want to talk to you about some boots that I picked up, and that is this boot right here from Altama. This is their Pro X boot. Now, I've done a few boot videos in the past because some of y'all have asked, but there's some reasons that I got these, reasons I wanted to try them out, and I want to give you those reasons and then just kind of go over a brief as I can overview on the boots themselves. So to begin with, most of you that have been watching for a while, you know that in my area, typically, 90% of the year, I'm wearing vented warm weather boots. Even in the winter time when it's down in the 30s and 20s, I'm usually still wearing vented hot weather boots. Snow's not really a concern or anything like that. However, water and drainage is, whether it's walking through water, rainwater, whatever. So for my purposes and uses, I need boots that are going to drain when they get water in them, because they're going to get water in them. There's just no way around it. And also with the heat, even in the wintertime, if it starts out below freezing, typically during the day, it's up, 50s, 60s, and if you're up moving and walking, feet are generating heat. I just don't want it all trapped in there. Feet get sweaty, then come nighttime, you got sweaty socks on, sweaty feet, temperature drops, feet get cold. Need them to dry out, right? Okay. So I've showed you guys in the past some of the boots that I've been using. And so like my favorite hot weather pair of boots for a long time has been these Rockies. And the reason I like these Rockies is because they've got vents on this side, vents on this side. They've got a nice wide sole with wide open lugs. They fit well, they breathe good, they're great boots. The problem that I've got with those, and it's not really a problem, I use them and love them, is they tend to lean, comparative to these, to be a little bit heavier, and the tread on them is just a little shallow. And I'll get more on that in a minute. The other two pair that I know you guys have seen in the past are my Danner Tanicus. These are the hot weather version that has the vents in them. And then also my Danner, which ones are these? The Reckonings. About to say something else. Again, hot weather. I like both of these boots, right? But here's the problem that I've got with both of the Danners. The tread on them wears fairly quickly, and you see how shallow, I don't know if you can see it, but you see how shallow the grooves are there? It just doesn't allow for much muck to get in there. It tends to kind of want to pack up real quickly and then not unpack, and then you've got a slick sole on the bottom of your boots. I'm going to date myself a little bit. I've always liked the old school jungle boots. I remember when I got my first pair of jungle boots way back in the day, and I loved them. They were great. However, it's been hard to find good jungle boots, and of course, compared to boots today via, modern technology and whatnot, they are kind of outdated, right? Well, Ultima is making these Pro X, and it's basically an updated, more modern version, in my opinion, of the old school jungle boot, right? One of the big things I love is the old Panama sole on them. It's big open blocks, they clean out well, they don't tend to gack up with mud and stuff and it stay there. It'll work its way out as you're walking. They grip really good, and for the terrain that I'm in, that sole just works great, right? But the cool thing about these, they maintain the lightweight, because you've got like a Cordura nylon upper to them. There's no insulation or anything like that. There is a padded collar up top, give you a little bit of cushioning. But instead of having the metal vents, they went with a cut type vent, but on both sides. So now, instead of just getting airflow and drainage right in the arch area, you're getting it on both sides of the feet. That lets more water out, lets more airflow back and forth in and out as you're walking. Nothing but positives about that, right? So these are also really lightweight, if I didn't mention that, to me. Now, the listed weight on their website is 25.6 ounces. So a little over a pound, not quite 2 pounds. I don't know if that's for one boot or two. It's got to be for two, because one sure doesn't feel that heavy. I could be mistaken. But sometimes it's just the simplicity of something like this that I go back to, that I find I really like. Now, the listed price on these, because I know somebody's going to ask, is like $189, which isn't out of range of most good, solid boots. It is well above what you're going to pay for cheap imitation reproduction boots that aren't worth a crap and just going to fall apart. For those of you that are interested, these are made in the Philippines, so they're not made in China, for those that are concerned about that. But they're just a nice, simple boot. They do have a really, really thick, cushy insole in them. I'm not going to take it out because you can't really see how squishy it is. But really nice insole to them. I have tried them on, worn them around the house a little bit. I'm just kind of getting a feel for them, and they feel really good. It's nice to have that light weight on your foot. Now, I wear typically an 11.5 regular, depending on the brand. So like all my Danners are like 11.5s, Merrells and such, I'm 11.5. My Rockies, I'm an 11. I went ahead and got an 11.5 in these. I could probably get away with an 11. I'm kind of like right in that, in their sizing, I'm always probably like an 11.25 maybe. Go figure. But the 11.5 is not bad. That extra room in there, I don't think is going to be enough to cause any problems. But it'll give a little bit of room for your feet to swell and expand in the hot weather. On downhill grades, you're not jamming your toes in front of the boot, etc. So again, I might have been able to get away with an 11. I don't know. I know these fit, and I'm happy with it. Across the middle of the foot right here in the toe box area, plenty of width. Plenty of width. Like, if you've got wide feet, and you need to typically order wide shoes, if you ordered the wide version of this, I bet you'd be really happy. Because this is definitely wider than, say, my Danners in the same exact size. Which, again, is fine by me. You don't want a lot of slop in the boot, but you need a little bit of room in there for your feet to swell up when you've been up on them going in hot weather, etc. Some other nice features about this boot, guys, for the money. The stitching's all really good. I can vouch for that. I don't see any issues or concerns there. The speed laces on them are nylon coated brass, so it's not cheap plastic or anything like that. It's actually brass eyelets with a nylon coating on them. Those should freaking last forever. The laces are good. I know a lot of guys, myself included, on some boots, I'll replace it with 550 cord. I'll probably leave these laces on. They seem plenty functional for me. And that's about it. I'm looking forward to trying these out. This is, again, just kind of a intro video. I've got them. I'm going to be using them over the course of the next, few weeks or so. There's some things I want to try out with them and see how they handle it, and then I will do a follow-up video down the road and kind of let you guys know how they're doing. Again, it's not going to be so much a review per se as just me evaluating them for my use, and I'm just going to bring you along as I evaluate them and tell you what I like, don't like, what works and doesn't work. So again, caveat here when it comes to boots, you got to get the ones that work for you and your uses and your area. Guys that are in the southeastern United States, this looks like a good option so far. We will see how they hold up over the next couple weeks and go from there. But I'm excited. Again, I like the simplicity of that. Now they also do have, Ultima does have some regular jungle boots. They've got the black, the old school black version, and they've got tan version, coyote version, like this with the brass vents in there instead of the cuts, which are a little bit less, and a few features are different, but same Panama sole, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe one day, if I like these, maybe I'll snatch up a pair of those and do a comparison and see, you know, if these are worth you a couple of extra bucks that you pay for them. So far, they feel really good. We'll see where we go with them. Again, those are the Ultima Pro X. I'll put a link in the description box down there to the website, and keep an eye out in the future for follow-up video on those, and we'll see how they do. I'm excited to get trying them out. We'll wrap it up on that one, guys. Take care. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next one.